Hello lovely people, welcome back to this week's new video. I wanted to read 3 of the Goodreads Choice nominees right now from the first round at least, because as usual I have not read many of them, but many of them are on my TBR, so I thought I would pick a book from 3 genres and read them, especially since I already own one that Dutton sent over in early copy and I'm just now getting to. I just read like a chapter of it. First one is nominated in the fiction category, People Like Us by Jason Mott. I have 2 books that are currently in transit from the library, so who knows what that means. That can take a couple of days to like at least a week or so. From the romance category, I have First Time Caller by BK Borison. This was a really popular choice that I saw all over Goodreads, BookTube, Bookstagram over the summer. I think it was also a book of the month choice, I believe. And then for horror, I also have What Hunger by Catherien. I remember seeing covers of this, but I don't remember any like actual mutuals reading it. This one I think is going to be a little bit hard-hitting though. We're following 2 different Black writers. This isn't a memoir, it says, but it is kind of a true story mixing reality and fiction. So both of them are trying to find peace and belonging in a world filled with gun violence, as Americans may know. One is on a global book tour after a big prize win, and the other is set to speak at a school that has suffered a tragedy. The first chapter takes place in this author's point of view, I believe, and he's being called Soot. It seems like he goes around talking about his grief. That seems to be his job, and people look to him for hope after a tragedy hits. And then I just started like 2 pages into the new chapter of the author on the global book tour. I've never read a book written like this before. So the first guy is named Soot, I believe, and he comes up as this, and then the other guy, the author, has a little hat and he faces the other way and he's got a little feather in his fedora. The other kind of is having like second person point of view, and I don't love that. It seems like some things are going to be redacted. I did a little bit of editing, but then I've also have been reading this. I've read maybe 65 pages of this and not really vibing with it, at least for the one of the authors. The other one I'm a little bit interested in, although the last chapter did confuse me. The National Book Award winner, he calls that the N-word, really surprised me. He is annoying me. I understand that his POV is supposed to be more humorous, and I think that's the one that's going to be a little bit more like magical realism. I think it's supposed to be very meta. Because I wasn't really vibing with it, I did look up some Goodreads reviews, and there's a lot of like high reviews for this book. Obviously, with it being nominated right now in the first round, I understand its popularity, but it seemed like a lot of the reviews that don't like this book, they preferred his first book first. The author that I am liking, Soot, he is the one that goes to schools talking about gun violence, and he is apparently in that other book, in the first book. So I'm gonna just wash my face, get ready for bed, and tuck myself within this and see how much more I can get. But I'm already like in the POV of the bigger author, the award-winning author. He's now made it to Europe. It's like all expenses paid by this famous billionaire, possibly celebrity, name redacted. We don't know who it is. He meets his assistant Dylan, who he keeps calling the kid because apparently he knows him from when he was younger. He's a lot different now. He's 18 and is older, but Dylan doesn't appreciate like being recognized by this author, so I'm not really sure what the connection is there. It's feeling very like freaky sci-fi in this author's POV. Last night, I did end up reading a bit more of People Like Us by Jason Mott, but I did have to stop at some point because I felt like I didn't want to do it anymore. I did read quite a bit more. I'm on page 116, but I don't want to do it. Like, I don't feel compelled to pick it up. I would typically try to give it another chance because I only just started it yesterday, but I already read over 100 pages and I'm not feeling it. I am too behind on my Goodreads goal to try to give it another chance, so I'm gonna be starting a different book today for a different video. Hopefully the other books that I want to read for this video come from the library this week. This one is a Deanna not getting my vote. I got the goods, y'all. I've been on my short form content shit. I went to the library today to pick up 4 books, 2 of which are for the video. I don't know what I want to read first. These are totally different genres, right? Romance and horror. I feel like this is gonna disappoint me more. I was checking to see if the label said YA. It's not. Alright, I started a first-time caller. Not very far into it. I only read like 60 pages. Really love this like floppy cover, and it's very cute. We're following Aiden Valentine, who is a radio host of a show that gives like dating advice, and this young girl calls asking for dating advice for her poor mother. She's 12 years old. And then the mother, Lucy Stone, she thinks that she's doing okay. She has like a good job, incredible family. She's like has a great co-parenting thing with her ex. Her ex is basically the platonic love of her life. I actually really like their relationship. I only was just introduced to him. And she's realizing that like she really wants to be romanced, and she believes in this, like, you know, she's such romantic. She's thinking that maybe a little more romance in her life, it wouldn't be a bad thing, especially since realizing that her family, her daughter, is very worried about her being alone. What I think is happening right now is that the radio show is not doing very well, and they decided to turn it into a podcast, but Lucy wasn't aware that it was being recorded until that first episode basically goes viral because of her. We're up to the point now where the radio show producer is basically bringing to her a proposition like, would you want to be part of this show? I think that's where this is going. She's like a mechanic. She's really just this regular gal. Obviously something's supposed to happen between them. To me, this is kind of weird because this cover is not giving the age. Lucy, not a teen mom, but she was 18. I guess teen mom, but she was very young when she had her daughter. Because of that, I feel like her kid, she never really had any serious relationships in her life. She is surrounded by love, just not romantic love. Aiden, I guess, is not feeling the romance vibes anymore, and he's becoming quite cynical even while running a dating show. He has like these really boring callers, and it's just not really doing anything for him. So I'm excited to see where this is going. So far, I do like this writing style. It includes like little clips here and there of radio show like conversations, and it's inspired by Sleepless in Seattle. Never seen it, sorry, but it's pretty cute so far. Unfortunately, Goodreads has moved on to the final round of this, and some of the books that I'm reading for this like aren't even on there because it's taking me so long to do this. But it's fine because they were initially chosen. It fucking counts. Hi everyone, happy Thanksgiving. I'm currently just perched on the edge of the couch here waiting for something to heat up in the oven. I'm letting it go a little bit more because the bacon in the bread that I made might seem just a little bit raw, and I want to add a little bit more color, and sat here reading First Time Caller. It's getting really good. It's so cute. I'm on page 169. Haha. Lucy has just come back from her first date with Elliot, and Aiden is feeling some type of way. Not really, he's feeling angry. He is very protective. It's very cute. Grayson is also feeling very protective, which is adorable. I think the dynamic that Grayson and Lucy have is very adorable, very healthy. I think they're like next door neighbors also, so I really like him. Her dads at the shop are so cute. I love them. Harvey, Angelo, and somebody. I think they're so sweet to be looking after her and like having so much interest in picking who the guys are. But already Aiden's vibe is so sweet. Him waving Grayson off, like his apology off, being like, sorry, I almost punched you in the face, and he's thinking like, I would have punched myself in the face too if I thought I made Lucy cry. So it's getting very adorable. Like the protectiveness is coming, but he doesn't really want to admit it to himself. It's because he likes Lucy. It's very obvious. Lucy, it seems like she's not quite there yet. Like she thinks he's hot, okay, but she's not like, oh, I want to date him. And it seems like there might be someone that she likes. She might like a customer that has come to the shop. I don't know why my bangs are doing this, where one side keeps the wave and the other side's like so straight. Been doing that the last couple days. Really annoying, but so cute. I'm like kicking my little legs. I have goosebumps. I'm really enjoying it. If I complete the whole thing, it's like 220-ish pages. I'm having a really good time reading this, which is fantastic. I really see the hype. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's raining outside also, so it's kind of perfect. I have dinner sorted, like I have leftovers, so all I need to do is hunker down and read. I've read maybe 30 pages. Oh, lies. I've read almost 100 pages actually. I have this part bookmarked. The two of them are so obviously into each other. They have heard from other listeners that it seems obvious that they have a crush on each other as well. Everybody knows it but them kind of situation, which makes it all the more cute. Both of them are like, no, we can't be doing this. Like, this isn't the point of the show. Aiden is not looking for love. He's not a relationship guy. And Lucy is like, well, I came onto the show to find somebody. You're so, you know, not it. But her second date doesn't go very well and they hang out. She gets a little bit too drunk and it's so cute. It's so sweet. It's like them slow dancing to thong song. They're the only people at the bar dancing. He gets her home and it's just a really, really sweet situation. And they're both have kind of talked about this attraction and they're like, we can't be doing this. Stop flirting with me and I'll stop flirting with you. But they're flirting with each other. He said, I'm drunk on her smile, desperate to know more about her. I want to know her favorite pizza toppings, what sort of toothpaste she uses, if her blush disappears once it reaches the top of her chest, or if her whole body flushes pink. I'm buying mint chocolates at CVS because I can't quit the craving. I want my hands in her hair and my mouth at her throat. I have fantasies where I bend her over this table, others where I wrap her in a blanket and feed her toast. I'm not standing at the edge. I'm all the way over. I truly like haven't read a romance in a long time. I think even though Storygraph is telling me that it's my most read genre this year, that I'm like having all of the fun. They have kissed. They're still like, we can't be doing this, we can't be doing this, which is crazy to me. So I guess it's like pretty much a slow burn because they don't kiss until maybe like 50-60% of the way through. This book is like 400 plus pages, which I do think is long for a romance, but right now it's working for me. It's such an awful, dreary day today. You can't really tell, actually. And I'm about to leave for work, but I started What Hunger yesterday, and I read a lot. I'm already like 40% of the way through, so hopefully I can finish this within today or tomorrow. It's very easy to read. It's very much giving The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monika Kim, which I thoroughly enjoyed, gave that 5 stars, so things are looking up for her. My sister and I are going to a late showing of Hamnet later, so I thought I would take the time to finish What Hunger. The tone of this book is falling a little weird, a little flat. Veronica is continuing to have this urge to eat flesh, like to have blood. The more raw the meat, the better. She has like these dreams of going to the butcher shop and being able to just eat raw meat. But I don't know if this is all like stemming from the sexual assault that she experienced and had to like do this to save herself, or because of her grief and how far this is going to go, because she's already done something like pretty terrible. I don't know if she's gonna have like this urge to continue doing it or to do more of it, because I only have 40 pages of the book left. It's pretty gross and graphic. I will say though that I do prefer The Eyes Are the Best Part so far, but I am liking like the Vietnamese language in this. Now that I'm at home reading it, I can look up like pronunciations of things and listen to it, and I gotta say Vietnamese sounds really difficult. Okay, the curtains obviously need to be closed, but I am about 42% of the way through of The Lilac People by Milo Todd. This book is intense. I really just finished a chapter, really intense recollection of Birdie's time in the camps as a trans man. All the trigger warnings. Okay, it made sense to me that there were no type of line breaks, just paragraph of sentences and sentences, short sentences of the trauma, and it was like the shortest chapter because of how awful it is and how short the sentences are. From the beginning of how they took him, of the black triangle that he was assigned. So this book is about the trans community in Berlin before the war and after the war. After the war, a trans man is discovered on Birdie and Sophie, his wife or partner, his girlfriend's farm, where they escaped, and they have taken on the identities of this elderly couple because they don't have a lot of neighbors and they are hoping to just be able to spend time in isolation. And this trans man is found collapsed on their property, still dressed in Holocaust prison clothes, and they want to protect him not from the Nazis because the war is over, but the Allied forces who are arresting queer prisoners while liberating the rest of the country. This is something I didn't know. It's really awful because it wasn't just Jews who were rounded up, but only the Jews were liberated. It's kind of going back and forth. The chapters are long. It is very dense. It's quite literary as well, so I'm not reading it quite as quickly as I would like to. Each chapter does begin with telling you like the location and the date, so you can tell when it's like the beginning of Birdie and Sophie's relationship and how they came to be and what they're trying to do. Now, they are trying to help this young man, Carl, escape, and they want to get him passage to America because the queer prisoners, they are rounding everyone up and putting them into labor camps, trying to prove who's really a man and stuff like that. Where I am, an officer has an American military officer, total like ignorant asshole, fucking high on his power and bullshit, have come into Birdie and Sophie's home to inspect them, but basically threaten them that this is gonna be happening. And he's like, yeah, we Americans fucking saved you. You need to speak proper English. Like real shitty assholery. So that's the tone. I also thought this when I went to Berlin last year and learned, I went to one of like the World War II memorials and was reading all of the things that were going on, the propaganda that was being spread, especially a book like this also of the similarities between the current American politics, and it is very concerning, very frightening, and if you think that it isn't, then you're in the wrong place. I finished Lilac People over the weekend and I'm giving it 4 stars. It was a very heartbreaking, devastating, eye-opening part of history that I never knew about. I feel like a lot of people don't know about, definitely because of it being queer history. It's not taught in schools. I'm glad that Milo Todd wrote something like this where it can be more accessible to people. I definitely looked into like the real things behind this, and a lot of it is rooted in truth. The Allied forces did round up queer people after the liberation and continued to oppress them, didn't try to take away or repeal any of the laws that the Nazis had put in place. All what the Allied forces were doing wasn't all good, with it being a heavier topic as well. It was a difficult read, but still a good one. And so overall, now we're in the wrap-up portion. I read 3 books over the course of 4 genres, or I guess like 4 because I DNF'd one. I read People Like Us, which was nominated in the fiction category, and I DNF'd to that shit. I read First Time Caller because it was nominated in the romance category, and I loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars, I think. What Hunger by Catherien for the horror category, and I gave that 3.5. Okay, obviously this was for historical, and I gave this 4 stars. I feel like overall not bad. All in all, I do understand, and I hope that you do also, that the Goodreads Choice Awards are a popularity contest. That is literally how they gather the data for all of this, and in the end it's more just like fun to see what books have been the most popular and whether or not I would enjoy them, because I feel like I don't typically fall into the hype. Sorry, I had to change my battery pack, but these aren't typically books that I would want to pick up. So let me know what you ended up voting for, which of the Goodreads Choice Awards actually won you recommend that I should read, and I'll see you all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!